As the lead pastor of a church, I need you to understand that as life in the family goes, there are just times where you have to kind of call family meetings. And I always think of this, and you've heard this before, hey, let's get in the family room, grab a pillow, let's sit on the floor, lean up against the couch, whatever. We just want to have a time to talk. Sometimes the family talks that I have to lead as a lead pastor of a church are less than pleasant, where I have to tell you something that happened that it's just really bad news, and no, that's going to happen today. That's not going to happen. But sometimes I just inside it's just really, really hard. I don't like being the bearer of bad news, but today I get to be the bearer of fantastic news. And I'm so excited to tell you what I'm about to share with you. And lest I lead you along where you wonder, where's he going? Where's he going? Where's he going? I'm not going to do that to you. I'm going to tell you the punchline of what I'm here to announce to you, and then I'm going to tell you how we got there. Okay, everybody good? We good? Okay. I am absolutely thrilled to let you know that our board as a church has named the next lead pastor of Central Christian Church. And I am so thrilled. I am so thrilled to get to tell you about how this is going to play out, okay? So if you'll allow me, let me just give you some backstory. I'm going to do this from memory. I might not get every detail exactly right, but I'd rather do this than just read it to you. Let me just explain what happened. About a decade ago, and by the way, I've been on, it was 37 years ago today that I first became a part of Central Christian Church. Thank you for that. But that's not important. But when I became senior pastor, it'll be 25 years this coming April. But the thing is, about 10 years ago, the board began to talk about, Cal, it's been awesome, but what happens if something happens to you? Like, what happens if you get run over by a bus? Why do we always talk about pastors getting run over by buses? And I go, yeah, I'll try to not let that happen. Well, I'm very, very happy to let you know, church, that for the last decade, I have avoided every bus that has come down the road in my direction. So that wasn't going to be the problem. We had a plan if that were to happen. But then about 5 years ago, we started talking, okay, Cal, there's a number of things that we got to talk about as a church. What happens if? And then there were some things that, what if you had a moral failure? What if your age caught up with you? What if somehow you weren't able to finish sentences? What if you experienced burnout? All of the possibilities. So about 5 years ago, we started thinking, okay, we got to make sure that we're on top of this. This is the board, okay, the highest level of our church. And so we started thinking, okay, and then I said a statement. I said, okay, look, here's the thing. I want you to understand something, that there is no possible way it would be good for Central that I go past March of 2027. March of 2027, this day in 2027 will be 40 years that I will be on the staff, and it's not good. We have to have another leader by that date. And we always refer to that as our drop dead date. Maybe not the best of terms, but the drop dead date would be April. So, okay, as the years, we're down to 3 years now, okay, and so it's getting intense, okay. We want to make sure. It can take longer than you can ever imagine to find a successor. And so when I got back from my study leave last August, this has been priority one. We've got to get on this thing. So here's what we did. We formed a search committee of the board, kind of a subcommittee of our board, and we tasked them with, let's go find some candidates and let's go through this process. So here's what I said to the board. I said, look, I will help you, but I won't influence you. In other words, I will help it. I'm not going to guide you to a certain destination. I will help you in the process, as will our HR department. But that it's got to be a board decision. And if it's a good one, good on you. If it's a bad one, bad on you. Not me, you understand? Because I'm not going to be in that position any longer, so it's going to have to be a decision they make. So everybody understood that, and that was really, really clear. So they formed the search committee, and the search committee then came up with some criteria. Let me give you the criteria real fast. We're looking for character, competency, credibility, chemistry, culture, and calling. Alliteration, because we're pastor types. Anyway, so those are the things, and again, a long explanation of each of those. I'm going to spare you all that detail. But we basically said that's who we're looking for. So myself and HR put out some names. Here's some people that we think you should consider, people we know that we think could rise up to this level and do this. And so we put these names out, and then we basically tasked them, go discover who these guys are. Go listen to their sermons, watch their media online, pray about it, that sort of stuff. Go get some insight on who these guys are. And then a month later, we met again and we said, okay, from each of the people of the search committee, we need you to come up with your number 1, your number 2, your number 3, your number 4. Because in the ministry, you don't pit people against each other. But what we were positive, and this is really, really important, listen to me. We're not looking for anybody locally that is nationally that is wanting to be, like, we're not looking for resumes. We're looking for people who are doing a fantastic job where they are, not in the least but thinking about moving, but that we might be able to move with a vision of who we are as a church. And it could be compelling, and they go, I want to be a part of that. So that was the criteria. We're not taking resumes, we're not, So here's the point. They all come in with their list of 1 through 5 or whatever it was, and then we said, okay, no, I'm not showing yet. Everyone, I need you to reveal your number 1. And I'd say I did it. It was actually led by another board member. But you need to reveal your number 1. Here's what I want to tell you. Every single one of them had the exact same number 1. And everyone had the exact same number 2, by the way. And then 3, 4, 5, or whatever it was. They varied. Same number 1. So then they tasked me. They said, Cal, will you contact this gentleman and begin a conversation? I said, absolutely. So I did. And I talked to him, and he said, I love where I am. I'm in a fantastic place. I'm not looking at, we had this whole conversation. And then I said, listen, would you talk to your wife? I'm just going to ask you to pray about it. Just pray about it. Just see if maybe God, and he assured me, I'll talk to my wife, and I promise you before the Spirit of God, if he leads us, we'll follow wherever he leads us to go. And so, okay, cool. Just do that. Long story short, some time passed, got back in touch, and he said, you know what? We think we should at least look at this. So, long story, we brought him out, we showed him the different campuses, we met with the search committee, we met with the executive team, we did some life stuff, and they left, and then we got, what do you think? And everyone's going, it'd be perfect, it'd be absolutely perfect. Went through some more processing. I'm trying to go through a lot really fast. And then the search committee said, is there any chance that you could get him to preach here one weekend, just so we can hear him preach in person? And I said, yeah. And here's a clue. He did. There's a clue. There's a clue. We made those arrangements, and he came. And then, long story short, more meetings. And then the search committee unanimously recommended to the entire board, this is the guy that we think. And then the board met, again a couple weeks later, flew him and his wife out, grilled and drilled them for about an hour and a half. And then they basically said, would you excuse us, you need to leave the room while we have a chance to talk amongst ourselves. And so they sat in my office. And for 20 minutes, they deliberated, which is so not what happened. What happened was for 20 minutes, we had to sit there while every single board member explained to every other board member why that person and that family would be the perfect family to be the next lead pastor of Central. It took like 20 minutes, and then they took a vote, and they unanimously voted this person as our next lead pastor. And then I got asked, go get him, let him know. I go, I'm going to go punk him. That's what I said. And they're like, no, you're not. And I go, yeah, I'm going to go play a joke on him. He goes, no. And then they said, I'm fired if I do that. That's what they said to me. And so I had to go down and go, okay, it took like forever. And here's why it took forever. They were not deliberating back and forth. They were all wanting to say why they really believed you're the best. And we're so excited. So we put it out there and said, hey, we would love to offer you and invite you. And if you're wondering who I'm talking about, it's time for me to reveal this. Couldn't be happier. It's this guy right here. This is Sean Moyers. Sean Moyers. Sean is the lead pastor of a fantastic church in Longmont, Colorado. Actually, the multi-site, there's different places, but Sean is been the lead pastor for 11 years. He and his wife, Jen, married for 20-some years. They have 4 kids, 2 in college, 2 yet in junior high school. If you remember, he was the one that was talking about basketball, if that rings a bell, if you recall. He's the first weekend of this year, he preached here, and people loved him. People going, you need to hire him, you need to hire him. I go, oh, you don't know how we're working. Anyway, he has been a part of a group that I've talked to you guys about. You've heard about this. A group of pastors that I've led over the last 10 years, actually longer than that, but that we meet multiple times a year, and I just poured my heart into him. He is as close to somebody who grew up at Central without growing up Central as you could get. He has been here, his board's been here. very, very familiar with our church and our DNA, and it was all really, really. Now you go, what's going to happen? Now this is where I'm going to throw you out of the roller coaster if you don't hang on, okay? Because I don't know where your mind's going right now. I want to explain to you what's going to happen. He's actually going to begin with us on the weekend of the 18th to the 21st of April. So he's wrapping up his ministry there now, and he's going to be here the 18th to the... Now, on that weekend, it's actually going to be my 25th anniversary being the lead pastor. Roy Lawson, who was my predecessor, I've invited him to come back. He's going to preach. It's because he started in April and ended in April. I will start and end in April, and then Sean. Now, but here's the thing. This is, again, we're going to have a great Sunday. You're going to have 3 bald preachers on the stage. It's going to be awesome. But here's what I need you to understand. And again, listen carefully. I'm not leaving. I'm not done. Here's what's going to happen. Sean's going to come on our staff. He's actually going to begin his ministry here on April 22nd, the day after the Monday. And he's going to work on my staff for 1 year. He's going to be the associate lead pastor of our church. It's already been decided he's the next guy. It's not a trial. It's not audition. He is the next lead pastor. We're going to spend a year. He's going to work with me so that we can transition everything. He's going to spend a year. He'll preach when I don't preach. He's going to get to know all the campus pastors, get to know the campuses, the councils. He's going to do all that kind of stuff. Work with me as I work with the board. He's just going to work with me over the next year on my executive team. And then 1 year later, which will be April of 2025, we're going to have a party, and we're going to celebrate, and we're going to place him as the new lead pastor of Central. And you're going to love this guy. Now the question, I've been saying, I don't know my future. Here's what I know. From now until April of 2025, I have a job, okay? After that, I basically said to the board and to Sean, I'll do whatever. I'm not going to be on the exec team. I'm not going to be on the board. I'm not going to lead. I'm not going to. But if I'm needed to back up preaching, if I'm needed to be a teaching pastor, whatever I can contribute. I have Lisa and I have talked about this. We have no intention of going anywhere the rest of our lives, but Central. And so I just don't know. We're going to let that develop, and Sean and the board will figure out what to do with the old guy at that point. And I'll just hang on, and we'll do whatever they and God kind of say we're going to do. Now, here's what I want to address. Why did you not tell us this when we just did this all-in campaign? Why did you lead us through an all-in campaign? Folks, I talked to you about planting trees that you will not be the one that enjoys the shade of, and that you will not be the one who enjoys the fruit of. I talked about passing on for the next generation. What I have led is what I believe is the right thing to do, and we are financially sacrificing to make that happen. I knew all along that there was a possibility that it would be in somebody else's hand to actually fulfill it and see it through. But I'll tell you what, that's the way it works. And I am so thrilled because we're going to be a part of this church, and I'm going to be involved in ministry, and it's going to be so good. But it's so wonderful to be able to stand in front of you and tell you that the board is absolutely elated over this. I am absolutely, my wife Lisa is absolutely elated, and the exec team is elated. We are in fantastic hands. So I can't wait to introduce you in person to Sean, who will be here on that weekend. But hey, great news, yes? Yes? All right. Good. Okay, I'm gonna ask you to pray. Let's pray, and then we're gonna get to a short message today, because this is probably the most important thing that I've shared with the church over the last 25 years. It took some time. It was worth our time to spend to do that. Now let me get to the message, and then I'll explain what we're doing. So let's pray together. So Father, thank you for Sean and Jen and their kids, and God, just what you've done at Rocky for a fantastic church, and how you have led them, and God, just the joy of watching them bloom and blossom and just all kinds of wonderful things. But then over the years to get to know Sean and to share the heart of ministry that we share in the DNA, and then for him to be called by you to this position. I know our church is just in fantastic hands. And God, we just pray that we just continue to be faithful and continue to keep our eyes on you. And I'm very confident of the future of our church. So thank you for answering that prayer. And we love you, and we praise you, and we love following you. So it's in your name. Amen.